Juan Swartz is the founder of Pivotal Talent, a company that uses artificial intelligence to help HR make better decisions about the people that join a company. Welcome.
Thank you.
So explain the crux of it. Why does HR get it wrong so often, and how can AI help companies make better decisions on who to hire?
So the problem with, or the challenge with traditional approaches are that we normally use either interviews or standardized assessments. Now, firstly, interviews are obviously, as you know, very subjective. And what usually happens is that we relate to people that are similar to us, or that's something in common with us, or just are generally relatable, but potentially better interpersonal skills or whatever the case might be. They're not necessarily the best person for that specific job. The other problem that interviews have as a process, and why they're relatively inaccurate, is that the recruiter that interview for a role might, especially big corporates, they might interview for widespread of different roles that they might not have done before themselves or experienced themselves. So they might think that two roles are similar and look for similar things, although the underlying skill set is vastly different. So for someone that's a recruiter that sits in an HR department to be able to hire even just in a logistics department, truck drivers, forklift drivers, storage personnel, vastly different skill sets, and you wouldn't know that to understand it or be able to look for it in an interview. The other part of a process that we use is standardized tests or assessments. Now, certainly if you do specific skill tests because you're looking for a specific skill, which is in isolated jobs relevant, the broader sort of jobs you're not necessarily able to do that. That can work, but you're only testing that specific skill set. You're not testing whether they have, what their attitude is, what their competencies are, whether they will retain an organization, whatever the case might be. And then you have standardized assessments, normally either psychometric assessment or scientific assessment. The problem with them are that you're looking at a limited amount of constructs. So you might look at 20 or 10 or 12 factors, and they standardize. So irrespective of whether you are a salesperson or a finance person, their skill sets and their profiles are vastly different. If you look at the same 12 things, firstly, you don't know which one of those 12 things predict performance in which roles, and you ignore all the other things that are not in your standard assessment. That could be good predictors of performance. So in that whole process, inevitably, you end up with an educated guess as to who you're hiring based on either a standard set of limited things that you test or a very subjective interview.
All right, so you studied at Stellenbosch, you've worked at SAA, you're based in New Zealand now. You've seen it all in South Africa, and now you're traveling the world. Where is AI going with human resources and hiring, and what are the trends you're seeing, and where's it going to go?
So the trends currently in AI in the recruitment space are essentially you get two types of solutions. So the first is around sourcing, so searching social media or other database resources and trolling those resources for the ideal candidates, and becoming really better at refining how you search. So initially you can only search for certain words, which is relatively inaccurate. If you become better at it, you can search for phrases or combination of different words to look at profiles that might be suitable. If you take that approach, you then obviously have to entice the person to apply. They might not be actively looking, or they might be part of a profile, might be suitable, but the rest is completely not. So that's in the sourcing space. You also get AI solutions that assist you during the recruitment process. So that's more social media type of engagement. So you can text the bot throughout the process to assist you. Okay, I submitted my application, what's next, etc., etc. And again, just frequently ask questions. So I applied for this job, how long should I wait, and those type of things. So those are two predominant things that AI solutions do in recruitment space. What we are doing is slightly different because we play in the space where you apply for a job all the way to shortlisting, matching and ranking through a more scientific approach where we use all the predictors of performance for the specific role and screen candidates based on whether they have those skill sets that are the predictors of a finance role or a sales role. But each one of them are bespoke design, individualized, because obviously using the same sort of constructs for those two different roles wouldn't make much sense.